Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back with another video. In this video, we will be going over the settings. I'm giving out the best settings you can have probably for Xbox. These are my preference, personal settings. Um, to me, I think they're the best settings that I've ever came up with for Xbox. This can also work for PS5 when PS5 comes out. So let's hop right into it. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure your graphics mode is on performance. That way you have better performance over quality. Performance just, pretty much speaks for itself. It's going to make the game run smoother and everything. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you turn off camera shake and all this other stuff that is off. This one right here I keep on because that tells me that if I'm about to be house capped, whenever I'm making houses, if I'm going to be pop capped. Immediate auto kill villagers at game start, you want this on. You want the next one on in the bottom as well whenever you make a new town center. So keep these two on. Let's see what else we have here. The rest of this stuff I don't really mess with. I don't use military drag select. Default unit stance on aggression or aggressive. Select dull villagers. I would prefer that you guys go with this one here, the one that says performing same actions in idle. Reason why is because whenever you double tap A on your villagers, like if they were on the wood line, it will select the wood line only villagers. So yeah, I would prefer that one. Cross network play, of course you're gonna want that on. Let's see, there's more different settings here. You can also this is all preference, but let's go into the next couple settings that we're gonna record game is a big one. You want to make sure this is on instead of last 10 replays. That way you always can look back at your replays and it'll record each match. I go to UI. In the UI, you want to turn on everything here because show damage units, hit points, all this stuff is important to have on. I turn on all this stuff here except the bottom one. You want to keep the last one off. I never really mess with that one. As for sound, I'm not going to really get into sound. This is all preference. Depends how you want your audio. The only thing I would do is enable voice chat. Pan speed now. This stuff here, this means your cursor whenever you're moving the cursor on the screen. So what I would do is I would also turn up 100% default zoom level. Minimap's reticule speed is how fast you want your minimap moving. For dead zone, this is all preference, but the way it works is if you have lower dead zone, then your camera speed is gonna move faster. As for camera snap, I don't use camera snap, but I know some players that use it. They say it's okay. I feel like camera snap and attraction is preference. Marquee size, scale, speed, and spawn timer is important. I would make sure you guys do your own kind of marquee size, speed, and scale. You can copy mine if you want. If we scroll down here, all this other stuff I leave on and off. I want to talk about control group for a second. If you are from H2, you might want to turn this on. If you are new to the game, I'm going to explain what control groups are in a little bit later in the video. But first, we're going to cover the first thing we're probably going to discuss is about the pan speed and stuff like that and camera snap. So let me turn on camera snap for a second so I can show you guys what it looks like. Camera snap works something like this. Pretty much if you have this on, what it does is you see how when I go to make a building or something, or when I select my scout, the camera will snap onto the scout while it's moving. So I'll show you something like this. See how my crosshair, my reticule is just right on the scout, following the scout. That's what camera snap does. Does something like this. For units at least. Some people play with this on. Like I said, this is all preference. I don't usually play with it on, because the way it works is it will also snap to resources as well. So you see how like my camera is snapping onto the granary, snapping onto the berries. This is all preference, like I said. You can choose whether you want camera snap. And then if you have this other option on where it says allow track to buildings, it'll pretty much camera snap onto the building as well. So you'll do this little snap to the building and to the villager. That's why I don't use like attraction or camera snap. I feel like you can turn attraction off and then use camera snap, so you'll only have like the unit effect where it'll snap onto the units. Another thing is you can also like just turn the camera, any way you want it on the map. So take advantage of turning the camera which way you prefer the map to aim towards. Marquee size is basically if you hold A, you see how like that blue circle, it grows that much. So your marquee size is how big you want that blue circle to be. When you're holding the A button for PlayStation is going to be X, I believe. So I play with, if you want to play with a like max size like that, so it's bigger, that's up to you. Personally, I like it to be big but not too big. Marquee speed is like pretty much how fast the blue circle grows. So if you have this all the way down, it will actually be pretty slow when you're holding A. See how slow it is? That's what marquee speed is. So if you want it to be quick and you want it to be like a big blue circle when you're selecting your villagers, to you. The last one of this is the marquee spawn timer. So I wouldn't put this on 0, because what happens is when you put this on 0 is, let's say you select your vills and you want to like move on the map, you see how like it's like spawning too fast, the blue circle. So that pretty much like messes around with your micro, with your villagers and your units. I would just put this on maybe 10, I believe. I wouldn't really put it on 5 either, but like I said, this is preference. The next setting is going to be pretty much control groups, like I was saying. So now, I showed this earlier in the video, but I'm going to go down to it here. Make sure you guys also have this stuff on and have it the way I have it. So we're going to talk about this here. Control group and find menu input. So what this does is whenever you are opening the control group or the menu input, when you start the game, by default it'll be LB for your find menu input, and then it'll be left trigger and right trigger for control group. But when you turn this on, it'll swap the buttons. So my control group now is left bumper, which will be probably L1 for control PS5. And then now my find menu like this would be left trigger, right trigger. So it's pretty much similar to Age of Empires 2 settings. This is more easier to use, and I feel like it's more simple to use. I feel like this setting you might want to play with it on. It makes the game more easier to navigate for your control groups and navigate with your find building, like your quick find building menu. So I would play with this on. The next setting would be accessibility. You can mess with your font size if you want it large, extra large, whatever. These are the personal colors I just chose to do for whenever I'm playing team games. I don't really mess with these friend or foe colors, but for people that are like colorblind, you can probably turn that on. And what it does, it will just keep everybody either red, blue, and yellow. This other stuff, I don't really mess with it. It kind of changes like the color of the map and stuff like that. I feel like it makes the map maybe like brighter or darker. I'm not sure. I haven't really messed with my accessibility yet. Just the colors is the only thing I changed. So I did forget one setting in the controller and that is the Minimap camera behavior. So there's two different ways, well, three different ways you can play with the Minimap. Loose reticule is pretty much like you send waypoints for your scouts or units across the map by just opening the map with RB, which is probably going to be R1 for PlayStation, and you just tap A or LT and A around the map to set waypoints. I know some players play like this and they prefer it like this. You can set multiple waypoints for your scout to cover those for your scout to scout out those areas around the map. I like to use fast pan. I think fast pan for me is better. But some people like to use the last setting is called hybrid, and it's pretty much a bit both of them in one. And you can mess around with that one. I haven't really used it, but I'm gonna wrap the video up here, and I'll be dropping another video probably later tonight or tomorrow. So peace.